What's going on, guys? Today we are going to look at a Louis Vuitton fragrance. And sorry, I'm typing it in as fast as I can. You guys are going to want to know about this fragrance because it is one of the most popular LV DNAs that people try to chase for, whether it's affordably or retail. So strap up, get your beverage. We're going for that ride, and it's near the water.
Okay, dinner for two. I watch that head move side to side as I let this in into the room. You are on time, let's connect minds. Trying to get into a mood. We gon' be fine. Close up the blinds, no rush. Finish the food.
All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. Hey, check this out. From the house of Louis Vuitton, we have Pacific Chill. I'm really liking the lighting right now. This is legit lighting. We might have to stay with this one. So, Pacific Chill, afternoon swims, some of the most talked about in the line outside of, your flagship Imagination, Meteor, things like that. Yeah, let's see what it's hitting for. I know you guys don't want to hear me talk up this fragrance too much. Unisex fragrance for men and women. LV, big ticket price point, 4.45 out of 5 out of 4,300 votes. This was released in 2023. And yeah, this is supposed to be a citrus bomb. So let's see. Because it's an LV fragrance, and I tend to have strong opinions about LV, we're going to load up the skin. In the air, I'm just getting buttloads of citrus. It even gets like a fig note. Yeah, there's fig in here for sure. Man, I can spot fig a mile away these days. This is nice. This is nice. There's a fragrance really close to this. I gotta grab it. I actually just bought this. Okay. So, the cool thing about Pacific Chill is, oh gosh, hold on, guys. My little floor mat is acting up. We're gonna have to make a little monetization on YouTube so we can get some new. There we go. Jeez, look at SB. Anyways, the cool thing about this fragrance is it's juicy, right? I feel like immediately that, I think fragrances like Vintage Green 78 from Banana Republic, this green experience, mostly juicy, pungent, rich, fleshy citrus and fruits with this kind of soft green backbone. And in this case, that's all I get. It's very figgy. It feels like, genuinely, it feels like an apricot, like figgy apricot dominant, but quite juicy and figgy as well, with just kind of like this, like it's sitting in a tea leaf or something. I don't think there's tea in it because I don't get it in the same way that Imagination has it, but this is mostly a fruity experience. The fragrance it reminds me of is this bad boy right here. Acqua di Parma's Fico di Amalfi. Fico di Amalfi is a lot greener, a lot more truly photoreal. This Pacific Chill is truly a fantasy of a fragrance. Because yes, the apricot and fig is juicy, it's rich, it's fleshy, but it's also candied. There's this artificial sweetness within there. It's not going to feel fake. It's not going to feel synthetic. It's just, when you go into a women's department store, like, I can't even think of names right now, but like, imagine walking into like, not Abercrombie and Fitch, something more upscale for women. When you go into like a Victoria's Secret or something like that. Now, again, this smells nothing like Victoria's Secret, but you know how you just get this rich, juicy, like bad chick perfume smell? Or when you go into Bath and Body Works and it's full of this kind of hairsprayish, shower gelish, like artificial fruits in the air. This feels like that with a little bit more elevation in quality. It's a juicy, fruity fragrance, rooty tooty, fresh and fruity booty type of fragrance. But I get this dominant apricot note. I get a figginess to it that's quite rich, and the green. But the green is like 10%, guys. It's not that much. It's mostly a fruit fragrance, like a fruit splash. The apricot is so rich. It's almost photoreal, but then they just turned the volume up a little more. You know what I'm saying? It's a little candied and fake, but it's still... I could see women really loving this because you shower and stuff like this, and then you throw this on and you're going to be projecting and popping out of the wazoo. I lean towards a Fico di Amalfi because I can get there without the apricot, more of a figgy green experience, but the greenness is what makes this closer to unisex because it balances off that sweetness, and it also adds some earthy complexity and detail that fragrances like this LV that are very fruit splash forward tend to feel less niche, because even though the quality is very high, they always read very singular. Yeah, like even on skin, I'm sure I'm going to see a bunch of notes, but I get like a 70 apricot. Let me be fair. 60% apricot, 30% fig, 10% something green. Let's go ahead and switch cameras and let's see what we're dealing. Oh, I'm way too far down. So here's the bottle. Again, I think this fragrance retails like $400 or $500, somewhere around the 400 point. And okay, here we go. Yeah, so citron, orange, lemon, black currant, coriander. There's apricot, basil. That's the green that I'm smelling. A little bit basil-y. Not super minty. Not super minty at all. You don't get that brash, cool air, but it is kind of there. It's kind of there, but I think the basil and the rest of the citruses are really duffing off that kind of airy quality about it. But it is there. It's light. It's like the tiniest sea breeze. Like maybe you're 2 blocks away from the ocean, and you're just sitting on the patio in front of a rich basket of chopped open apricots, and you just... So here's the illustration. And I'm going to come back out to this screen. Here's the visual for this fragrance. You're in Cali, and sometimes I go to Newport Beach, right? And Newport Beach is the places that we timeshare out or that we Airbnb are right on the water. There's like a little peninsula in Newport that kind of goes out into the water a little bit. You're in an Airbnb on the rooftop or on the patio, and you're like 2 or 3 blocks from the water to where you can just barely hear it. You hear whoosh. And because of that, there's this light breeziness in the air. And you're sitting there with a bowl of figs, maybe like just 2 figs in there, and it's mostly apricots. And you just picked up you sliced the apricots in half, and you hold up the apricots, and you just squeeze the heck out of them. And then you breathe. And so you get a little bit of that air from the elements, that not sea note like salty, but just that watery, slightly cold air. You get just this juicy, drippy, apricots. And then the figs are chopped open nearby, so you get a little bit of sweetness, but it's mostly about the apricots. And that's it. And because of that, it does feel like a super niche glorified version of a lot of stuff you could get at Bath & Body Works. I think if you have any apricot product from Bath & Body Works, shower gel, hair mist, conditioner, whatever, and then you bought this, you would be mad you spent all the money. It would go with your ensemble dead perfect, and it would make you smell bougie and luxurious and good, but you would be a little bit remiss because you could have got there. You could have got 80% of the way there with just your shower gel and your hair stuff. You know what I'm saying? If it was apricot scented. I struggle to believe that this is going to have performance. It smells somewhat similar, but on skin, I feel like more of the orange and citron really come out. The apricot really settles down. On the test strip, it just is all about apricot and fig. Now that we're 10 minutes in to the spray, I feel like it really sits down. The apricot is still dominant. The fig is still dominant, but it really kind of quiets down. I even feel like if you had like an apricot based like lotion, ladies, you could get dang near there with this. But I mean, yeah, I just don't know how I feel about this fragrance because it's good. I think men, this feels women leaning. You know, do you want to smell like slightly artificial, super juicy fruit, sweet apricots? Even something like a vintage green 78 or some of the more green figgy scents. There's some more expensive ones, even, you know, Fico. They always feel juvenile to me. And what typically saves the day is a tea note or a green note of some sort, which that's why Fico di Amalfi is unisex as it is. I still feel like it's slightly feminine leaning, but man, the green notes in here really save it and make it, you know, his and her. And it would make a man, you know, comfortable enough to try it at least. Whereas this is like just overkill feminine to me. You know, unless you're a kid, you know, 20 and down. But I feel as a young guy, if you wore this to college, yeah, you might get the teeny bop chicks, but you could never punch above your weight class with something like this. If you score a girl wearing this fragrance, it's because she's around men she doesn't even smell. They're not wearing fragrance at all, and then you just pop out with some juicy fruit. She's just with you because you're something new. You know what I'm saying? But if you go against any guy smelling slightly masculine, a guy with Bleu de Chanel would beat this guy out. Easy. No question. Guy with Sauvage would beat this guy out. Unless she was, you know, just a real... oh, look, he smells like apricot. You know what I mean? Type of girl. Yeah. It really settles into the dates a little bit more, I feel. But let's go back out. Sorry, guys. So here's the notes. Apricot, basil, carrot, seed, May rose, fig, dates, ambrette. Guys, this is apricot, fig. Dries down to a little bit more basil, orange, citron, dates. Don't really get the carrot. Don't get the ambrette, the coriander, none of that. Oh, this is Penis from French Avenue. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Pacific chills out there, guys. Vibe, Penis, Rare Reef. I know there's way more than that. Rare Reef's getting all the hype, you know what I'm saying, right now. And so I'll let that observation just kind of tell the story. Let's just come out real quick, guys, because I do feel like I've given you guys enough information. Let's talk alternatives, though. Alternatives, you saw on screen some of the super cheapy alternatives. If you like the scent profile but are worried that it might take away some of your masculinity, I think Fico di Amalfi is a great alternative because this is by no means a masculine scent to me. But it truly is perfectly unisex, I feel. And there's a greenness, a leafy greenness to this and a freshness that really stabilizes the genders. It's not all about fruits. And again, there's not apricot in Fico. In fact, I think there is plenty of citrus in it though. Fico di Amalfi. Yeah, so Fico has grapefruit, bergamot, citron, lemon, fig nectar, and jasmine. But then it's got the fig tree note and the pink pepper. I think the greenness of this fragrance really jumps out. So if you want a fragrance like this, like Pacific Chill, you have cheaper alternatives that are going after it, right? If you want a niche fragrance that upholds the highest level of ingredients and quality, but is more truly unisex, get Fico. Fico di Amalfi from the Blue Mediterraneo line from Acqua di Parma. And this is very affordable, like around $100. Believe it or not, I actually scored this bottle for $40. And the guy I bought it from, his wife, it was his wife's. He didn't prefer it because it was too, I'm assuming because it was too unisex, maybe feminine leaning to him. But so that just goes to show you, like, women love this fragrance too. And some men shy away from fragrances so fruit or fig forward. Sometimes fig can come off feminine, but this is way more masculine-ish than Pacific Chill. It's like, if you didn't like this, don't even go near Pacific Chill, or even Vintage Green 78 for that matter. But this is a great niche alternative if you want something more truly unisex. As a scent, I don't think it's worth the money. I do think it's good for what it's doing. It feels very in line with Louis. Just kind of that curb appeal of juiciness, and richness. This would go good with the young crowd. I think this is unisex feminine leaning. Let me get back in my bag. Unisex feminine leaning. Ageless. I think the older you are, the more juvenile it feels. This feels like it is geared towards the 20s category and under, so 25 and down. The older you are when you wear this, I think the more you should probably be a female. And even then, it's like the older you get, the more of a truly fully casual playful it becomes. Occasions for this, everything basic, everything regular day. Errand running, beach, water, pool party, school, casual work environment, lunch date, brunch, hotel vibes, shopping vibes. It's just fun. It's a fun fragrance. Sprays on this. Let me double check the performance because I forget. Similar to the Ombre Nomad, I mean, the projection is not all that to me. So I'm getting here over 2,000 votes in both directions as a very moderate fragrance and moderate sillage. So I'm guessing, depending on your skin and your hygiene and all that stuff, I'm guessing 4 to 6 hours is kind of the guarantee. But I don't even think after 3 or 4 hours this would be past a foot or two of projection. So I'm nuking myself with this fragrance. 10, 15 sprays, I'm not counting. I'm just hitting the trigger finger till I feel like my whole body is covered. This would be a cool vibe at the pool. You know what I'm saying? Near water, I'm on the beach, I'm at the pool, I'm at a hotel and I'm going swimming, shirt buttoned open, I'm on a boat, I'm jet skiing. Yeah, Pacific Chill, lunch seaside, you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. That's funny. I mentioned Newport Beach. This feels like a Newport Beach fragrance. You know what I'm saying? The Cali girls go to. We talked about occasions, alternatives, price points. Sprays, season, spring, summer. Fall, winter would eat this up. Too much breeze will eat this up. The sun will eat this up. Somewhere around the 70-degree area, but spring, summer dominant. Be near water. If you're indoors, lay off the trigger, I feel. Cut it in half of whatever I said. So 10, 15 sprays, maybe knock it down to 4 to 6 if you're mostly indoors. Like if you're in class, you're taking this to school, don't go over 4 to 6. You'll really be kind of screaming in an environment where there's nothing competing with you. But yeah, I mean, guys, if you're taking this to school in college or high school or something like that, the girls will think you're a really fun guy with a little bit of money on you, but I just don't think they're going to take you that serious. And maybe they don't need to. You definitely don't. Here's the thing. If I go back in time and I was in college or in high school wearing this, if you wear it as your signature scent, you'll get laughed at, I feel. If you bust it out once or twice a week, show that you have some other sides to you, even if you're going down in designer to like Bleu de Chanel, stuff like that. I don't care. Like, mix it up. Go masculine, go fruity, somewhere in the middle, play with, you know, some ideas. But if you just only wear this, then it's like, okay, he's not a man. He doesn't have dimension to him. He's just all jokes, all fun, all playful. You know what I'm saying? And that's not really a masculine characteristic. And again, we're talking about scents, so it's super subjective, but I'm just telling you where my head's at with it. So mix up your arsenal. Don't let these LV citrus fragrances become your signature scents. Like, mix them up in your category. Bust them out when you want to have fun. It should be a fun, playful occasion, in my opinion. Anyways, this was Louis Vuitton's Pacific Chill. I hope I gave you all the information. Again, this is going to be more of a freestyle. Again, it really sits down on skin and becomes like a 2-foot at best skin scent. Now, I sprayed my wrist twice. Obviously, you can get more reach out of it if you nuke yourself. But, score-wise, I really give this an 8 out of 10. A very low 8. You know, so it's above average. I praise it for being juicy and rich and high quality. It's quite linear. I really think it could have benefited from like a green or a tea note just to give it a little something outside of just that citrus fruit splash kind of feel. It's not that complex. It doesn't last that long. It's fairly linear scent. It doesn't project. So for me, it's above average though. It's high quality. The blend is nice. You know, it's rich. It has that apricot note gives it its own silhouette in terms of being distinct in the marketplace. I think. But yeah, I give it a 8, just a 8.0. You know what I'm saying? I don't decimal out, but slightly above average, 8 out of 10. Okay, like, comment, subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. I drop videos every single day. Every single day I'm out here in the field reviewing all kinds of stuff. Let me know which LV fragrances are your favorite, which ones you want me to review next. I'm going to put 2 videos on the left and right hand side. The algorithm is going to figure out what you've been searching for and what you most likely could benefit from my channel based off what you've been searching on. So I have to go, but feel free to stick around and watch over 1,000 videos that I have put my blood, sweat, and tears into as it relates to fragrance, and utilize that playlist feature because you can sort my channel based off of things like reviews or game shows or entertainment or more critical stuff. Podcasts, I've got all of it. So check out the playlist if you want to binge watch a particular type of content, or just simply go on my video vault and search for a fragrance that you're interested in. I've probably done a review on it. With that being said, I hope you have a blessed rest of your week. And until next time, peace.